1956, when the Hungarians fled their country and the communist apparatus there, we opened our doors to them. Should we do that now with the East Germans? And if so, then how quickly will we do it?
Well, we should open our doors. The freedom-loving people of West Germany are opening their doors to these people. Most of these people want to go to West Germany, though. They are Germans, and they speak German, and they have relatives in West Germany. They want to live in Germany. So should we open our doors as well? Yes, we should, to the extent that we can accommodate them. If there's some that would want to come to the United States, we should welcome them.
What is the chance of a crackdown now in East Germany or inside the Soviet Union itself, that so much is happening so quickly? What are the chances somebody will say, listen, it's too much too fast, we've got to crack down, a la China?
Well, we hope that doesn't happen, of course, and we've made the point over and over that we're not seeking unilateral advantage as a result of these rather remarkable changes that are taking place. Instability in the Soviet Union, or instability, bloodshed and violence, things like that in Eastern Europe or the Soviet Union, are not in the interest of the West now. What we want to see is the kind of thing we're seeing today, where we see reform taking place, but taking place under peaceful conditions, and it's that we should continue to try and support and try and advocate.
Granted, but respectfully and gently, the question was whether you expect a crackdown.
Well, we don't know. Nobody really knows. It's our view now, and nobody can be certain of any of these things, but it's our view that the Soviet Union will not crack down in terms of the use of force. That doesn't mean that you're not going to see, as things develop in Eastern Europe from time to time in different countries, you're not going to see perhaps some backsliding. That's entirely possible. We hope that doesn't happen. But in terms of Russian tanks rolling through the streets as they did in Hungary, and the example you used back in 1956, we don't anticipate that.
Secretary of State James Baker, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Our chief White House correspondent Leslie Stahl is with us now live. Leslie, President Bush was very low-key at his news conference today. Why?
Well, it's his policy, as explained to me late tonight, that he doesn't want to arouse any passion or be any cause for a backlash. I think he's very concerned that he not give the Soviets any reason to say that these internal disruptions are being caused by the outside, by inducements or incitements by the United States of America. So he's tiptoeing. And his national security advisor gave a little news conference tonight at the state dinner for Mrs. Aquino here at the White House. And let me tell you what he said. He said, we're not rubbing our hands, but we are pleased, but we don't want to encourage a crackdown. This is in the back of their mind all the time, that if the President of the United States says something, they might be able to use it as an excuse. Scowcroft was asked if, when President Bush sees Mr. Gorbachev in the Mediterranean meeting, they don't like us to call it a summit, if he's going to thank him, and Scowcroft said, we will congratulate him on his wisdom and his enlightened leadership, I assume, for allowing this to go forward.
Leslie, is the Bush administration concerned that events are occurring much too quickly?
Well, I think there is concern, although they're not saying they're concerned. But today in his news conference, the president even suggested that the East Germans might want to stay in East Germany. I think there's concern that too many people are leaving too quickly, and the strain may be too great on West Germany.
All right. Leslie Stahl, thank you for being with us. Alan Pizzi is live in Berlin now. Alan, can you hear me?
Yes, Connie, I can hear you. It's a fantastic night here. They're still, as you said earlier, dancing on the wall. At Checkpoint Charlie, which I left a little while ago, the police were beginning to move the West Germans back. A lot of West Germans crowded up to Checkpoint Charlie, and East Germans were coming through there. That's a checkpoint they're not supposed to come through, but they were. There are still little East German Trabants rolling around the streets, getting cheered wherever they go, sprayed with champagne. It's like nothing I've ever seen before in my life. It's quite the most extraordinary scene, quite the most extraordinary place.
Alan, are people in Berlin talking about reunification?
Oh, they've talked about reunification for a long time. I think right now there's just a heady rush of celebration. Proper reunification, I think, is some way down the road. It's just too difficult to talk about reunifying two different social systems, one country in the Warsaw Pact, one country in the NATO Pact. And reunification per se, one Germany, I think, is not really the issue. The issue is how do they put the two countries together so they exist with their separate systems, but still as Germans free to travel to either side. I think that's what they mean by reunification. I think tonight brings them certainly a large step closer, if it lasts.
All right. Thank you very much. Alan Pizzi reporting for us in Berlin. We'll be back. And finally, today was the beginning of the end of what they called the Wall of Shame. The wall. It was built in one day. Then it stood in the way of East German citizens for 28 years, locking them in, caged by cement and communism. Over the years, thousands tried to flee. Some made it, some did not. The wall. It was always a symbol of repression, and a symbol of failure. Failure of a government to win support of its people. The blocks and mortar are still there, but today, the wall has become a monument. A monument to the abiding dream of people to be free. The American poet Robert Frost said it long ago, "Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down." Today, something got its way. And that's our special report for tonight. For the latest on the historic developments in East Germany, be sure to watch the CBS This Morning with Kathleen Sullivan and Harry Smith. And tomorrow night, Dan Rather will be reporting from the Berlin Wall on the CBS Evening News. I'm Connie Chung in New York. I'll see you this Saturday night. For all of us at CBS News, thank you for joining us. Good night.
Through the Wall has been a CBS News special report.